Hello, friends, and welcome to the SWRA Podcast. This is episode 11. I can't believe it. This podcast will intersect aging, wellness, and wisdom as we move forward into this new stage of life while we are aging in place. Today, the topic is about wisdom. I was looking for a definition of wisdom. One definition said it is the ability to apply previous experiences, previous learning and knowledge and apply it to a current situation. Another definition describes wisdom as having good experience, good judgment, and knowledge. Well, when I think of someone who is wise, someone that I could go ask, and say, can you tell me how would you handle this? It would imply to me that this person has lived through certain things and that now they want to apply the knowledge they gained from those experiences to today. That's what I think of. So, my audience, you are seasoned sisters, brothers, folks who have lived a bit of life and have learned a few things. But the hope is that as you move forward, you would have gained the knowledge and experience. And then when a situation presents itself that might be similar or even different from previous experiences, you would say to yourself, oh, I learned this from that situation prior. Therefore, I think I have what it takes to handle this situation better. That's what I think when I think of wisdom. Somebody who is not easily shaken, someone who is able to go within and calm him or her down, someone who is in a position to offer some advice and insight into situations, someone who is not easily disturbed, aroused, someone who doesn't react, someone who can think through things before exploding or making a comment and just not acting in a measured way. So, as we move forward in our 60s and 70s, what are some life experiences we could say, I have gone through this, so therefore, I think I have a little bit more insight. It could be things like going to college, right? You would feel comfortable giving some advice to a kid heading to college, right? You know how we try to do that with our kids? Do they listen? Okay. Maybe relationships, choosing a career, right? You could be a career counselor. Maybe it is about marriage, if you're still married or you were married, divorced, you can pretty much put yourself in someone else's shoes and say, oh, let me tell you, sis, okay, hold up. Don't get excited. This too shall pass. It takes a wise person to kind of just see beyond what the obvious situation is and say, I remember there was a lady who used to work with me. She had a bunch of kids. And then when I was, voicing my stressful situation with one of the kids, and she said, and then she was so calm, she said, my friend, and she knows if she's listening, she knows who she is. She said she raised some triplets, a set of triplets. And she's like, oh, Maggie, just live him live. He'll be okay. You'll be okay. That is wisdom. Because in the moment when you go into a situation, you need that person with a calm influence to say, sis, this too shall pass. One of my favorite Bible scripture is, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I always remind myself that I am walking through the valley. The word didn't say I'm going to stay in the valley. So whatever the situation is, I am able to say, well, you know what? I lived through something similar and I live to talk about it. So let's try to be the wise people that I know that we can be, but it takes introspection, it takes a measured approach, and it takes a willingness to kind of sit, be still, and learn from those who came before you. It takes a wise person to take counsel. Some people do not take counsel real well, and it is a travesty because you could learn so much. I love to sit at the feet of older people and listen to their stories and glean experiences from their own experiences. Therefore, I can feel like, oh, I learned something today. Be a learner. Be someone who is able and willing to sit and listen. If you just zip it up and let somebody speak truth into you, wisdom into you, you would learn a lot. All right, we're going to stop right here today. I will see you tomorrow for another episode of Aging, and we're going to keep going this way. Aging, wellness, wisdom. Aging, wellness, wisdom. But some days something may occur that would kind of tip that schedule, because if it's something I feel we need to talk about, we will. All right. Go out there and be a good human. Speak some wisdom into someone. Au revoir, à la prochaine. I'll see you next time. Bonne journée. Bye.